Hi, and welcome to the College of Business Management. Today, we are looking at what conflict is, the conflict continuum, goal of conflict management, constructive and destructive conflict, examples of those, consequences of conflict, and finally, the 3 C's of conflict management. All conflict can really be traced back to someone's feelings getting hurt, don't you think? As you'll see when we define conflict, conflict is truly everywhere. At home, with friends, with family, at work, which is why understanding conflict management is a crucial skill for you to be successful. So, what is conflict then? Well, conflict is any situation in which your concerns, desires, needs, or values differ from those of another person. So, we really have divergence in something, whether that's concerns, desires, needs, values, ideas, preferences. We can also say that conflict is a process that begins when someone perceives that someone else has negatively affected or is about to negatively affect something that they care about. So it's a process, meaning it's ongoing. So when you see that somebody else is doing something that will impact you or something that you care about negatively, this conflict might be starting. And these things can then be anything that is incompatible: activities, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Patrick Lencioni is a best-selling author. He has written a bunch of books that I truly recommend. In one of the books, he talks about what conflict really is. And he illustrates the need for a productive, meaning passionate disagreement around important issues. And we need this to actually get ahead and advancing things. So it's not that we want no conflict and we don't really want nasty conflict, but we want healthy conflict. So on the left hand of this slide here, you see something called artificial harmony. This is conflict avoidance, and that means we are pretending like everything is fine, even though it's not. And on the other hand, on the right side of this continuum, you can see that people can be downright nasty, constantly at each other's throats. That is not a good spot either. So the optimal spot really on this conflict continuum is just to the left of the middle, where we are engaged in all of the constructive conflict we could possibly have. Meaning, we all feel safe to vocalize, to voice our own preferences, needs, values, and other people do too. And then we have healthy conversation without getting personally attacking each other, but we talk about how can we find solutions that really helps us both. And that is really what the goal of conflict management is. The goal is to reach a solution that you both feel good about. Constructive conflict, that is something that supports organizational or personal goals and also helps improve the employees or the organization's performance, or if this is with your family or your friends, your personal well-being. Opposed to constructive conflict, we have something called destructive conflict. This is conflict that hinders immediate performance and may have domino effects. Destructive conflict is never a positive thing. Here we have some constructive and destructive conflict examples. So if we start here on the left side with our constructive examples, the first one is to have differences of opinion that are communicated in a supportive environment. So it's okay to voice your opinion when it's different from other people, and they will not take offense. We also have a focus on idea generation, so more ideas are better, and we are trying to actively solve problems together. We also have tension that increases awareness of a growing workplace problem. So there might be something that is simmering, there's an elephant in the room, and now we can actually lift it up and talk about it. These are constructive conflict examples. We also have ones on the destructive side. The first one being abusive language, insults, lack of mutual respect. We roll our eyes and we are just playing dirty. This also includes personal attacks or dirty politics, as well as cliques, gossiping, rumors. Or we can just be silent, passive aggressive, withdrawn, afraid to speak up. These are destructive conflict examples. So whenever we have destructive conflict, we get negative consequences. For instance, increased stress or anxiety leading to reduced productivity and creativity. Feeling defeated or degraded, leading to lower levels of morale, maybe also increased turnover. We get a climate of mistrust, reduced teamwork, collaboration, and cooperation among employees. And you can also think about what the negative consequences are when you have destructive conflict with your family and friends. There is stress, there is anxiety, there is not wanting to spend time together, not helping each other. Very similar things. And when we have constructive conflict, we're going to get some positive consequences, meaning open discussion, broad range of ideas, alternatives, viewpoints, and approaches are able to flourish and be shared. We surface inaccurate assumptions that are hindering progress so that we can deal with them. This will strengthen relationship. It will enhance morale and cohesion because we are now feeling psychological safe and we are voicing our concerns, which means we have a clarification of individual views that will help everybody and we learn from that. This results in increased interest, motivation, as well as creativity. And so when we now want to deal with our conflict, we have our 3 C's. The first one is communication. This might seem super obvious, but making a genuine effort to resolve a problem is often the first step in solving the solution. Most people, many people maybe, would prefer to avoid a complicated or tense situation because values and character can often feel threatened in such a situation. You feel threatened, right? So taking a step forward and toward action can go a very long way. You can approach that person who's upset, the other party, acknowledge the tension that exists, and begin to address it. Say, hey, what is going on? I'm sensing something in the air here. When necessary, or in a situation where there is recurring interpersonal conflict, maybe get somebody else to help, another friend or another conflict, a neutral third party. Secondly, you want to make sure you have consistency. Make sure that your approach is consistent. Stick with your values, make it clear where there is room for flexibility and where there is not. Check your own behaviors to make sure that you are treating everyone around you consistently, being consistently respectful and treating everybody fairly. It's superhuman to naturally prefer time with one person over another, but every individual deserves the same level of respect, whether you personally like them or not. That is especially true at work, but it also holds true for family and friends. Recognize where you might not be consistent in your communication or reactions to the other person that you're dealing with, and then align better where you can. Finally, we have the composure. So please try to make sure that you stay calm if you can. This might be one of the most challenging steps because emotions are usually super high when there's a conflict situation. Try to approach the conflict as a neutral observer to the degree that you can and separate the emotions from the words. Maybe count to 10, wait a couple of hours, and then resurface to the conversation when emotions have calmed down a little bit. With that, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.